What's happening in the San Diego real estate market here in November of 2023? I'm Kyle Whissel with Whissel Realty Group, and today I'm gonna break down a little bit more in detail for you exactly what's happening here in November of 2023. And this is a funky market. I've been shooting these videos now. I've been in this industry for 18 years now. I've shot hundreds of these videos. Went to UCSD to get a degree in econ, and I'm seeing things I've just never seen in the market before. But there's a pretty simple thing happening is what's happening today is we're kind of at a weird stalemate right now. For quite some time now, we've had a shortage of homes coming onto the market for sale. The reason that we've seen that is because, as you know, mortgage rates have risen significantly over the last couple of years. In particular, in the last couple of months, we're seeing rates today hovering in the mid to high sevens. That's making it cost prohibitive for somebody to sell their current home and upgrade into that newer, larger home that they want. Because if they got their mortgage, 2, 3, 4 years ago, they probably got a mortgage in the 2s, 3s, 4s, selling and getting rid of that rate to jump up into a rate in the 7s. That's tough. That's a big jump, right? Not only do you have the price jump, but you have the rate jump on top of that, it gets exponentially more expensive. So we've seen a slowdown there. What we've also seen up until now is we've seen buyers still being okay paying it. Maybe not as many buyers as a couple years ago, but still a decent amount of buyers buying. What that's done is it's caused our prices to rise about 10% in the last year. But in the last couple months, rates jumping past 6, past 7, even eclipsing 8% for a short period of time. Now we're starting to see the buyer activity slow down. So seller activity is down and has been down. Buyer activity's been high, but that's starting to come down right now. We're kind of getting into like a weird stalemate right here where there's not a lot of people selling, there's not a lot of people buying. The market's just generally very slow right now. So what should you be doing in this weird market that we're in? Well, if you're thinking about selling, there's scenarios where it makes sense and scenarios where it doesn't make sense. If you're selling because you need the money for something else, well, hey, your value's probably up close to 10% in the last 12 months. That could make sense. Maybe you're selling, you're relocating out of state, and it doesn't make sense to hold it as a rental. That could make sense. But if you are selling to move up, just understand that's gonna be a big move up in price. That might not make sense. We could sit down, analyze that, figure out if the numbers make sense. But I know for me personally, if I sold my current home and bought a home of equal value today, which would now be a smaller home because prices have risen, even at the same mortgage amount, my monthly payment almost doubles. That's just a tough pill to swallow. So might not make sense to sell if you're gonna do a move up unless you really need to. Maybe you need more space, something like that. But outside of that, it could be cost prohibitive. So it might not make sense. We can assess that for you and go through the specific numbers. Now, on the buy side, I think it actually makes sense right now. And here's why. You're probably like, oh, you realtors, you guys always say it's a good time to buy. Well, when I like to buy is when I don't have a lot of competition to buy. For most of the summer, it was kind of crazy. We were seeing multiple offers on every property, prices getting bid up like crazy. That's not my ideal time to buy. My ideal time to buy is when there's not as much competition out there, because then I can do two things. One, I can take my time, I can pick and choose and make sure I get the right property and not rush into something that might not be right for my family and I. Additionally, I can be a lot more aggressive with my offer. So I can come in and I can ask a seller to provide me a credit so I can buy my mortgage rate down and get down into a rate in the 5s or even the 4s. So I can do that in a market where things have slowed down a little bit. I can ask a seller to provide me financing, maybe allow me to assume their financing or take over their financings and buy subject to their financing. I have a little bit more options because, again, there's not a lot of people buying right now, so I can be more aggressive. So I can pick and choose the right house, and I can be more aggressive with the terms when I do find that right house. So I like that. I also am very confident that in the next 12 plus months, we're gonna start to see mortgage rates dip back down under 7, maybe even dip back down under 6 in the next 12 to 24 months. So long term, when that starts to happen, all the buyers are gonna come back into the market. They're just waiting right now. They're not buying because the rate's too high. But if you can buy right now and find a way to get that rate lower with a buy down or an assumption, you're coming in and getting that great low rate now. And then when the rates do come down and all the other buyers come get in the game, prices get driven up even further, you're sitting pretty. So those are my scenarios. It's not always right to sell right now. Depends on your situation, but on the buy side, I think this is that opportunity. You want to be greedy when others are fearful, and there's people are fearful right now. This is that opportunity for thinking about buying. So if you want to explore either of those options, give us a call, shoot us a text at the number down below. I'm Kyle Whissel with Whissel Realty Group.